hot water tonight and promising an apology. Mark Kasowitz represents the president in the Russia investigation. He's accused of sending threatening, profanity-laced emails to a stranger. CNN's senior national correspondent Kyung Law has the story, and I want to warn you, some of the language is obviously offensive.
It's got a lot of disparaging personal information about Mr. Kasowitz, including
the email tirade began from a segment on cable TV. The unnamed viewer was watching MSNBC's Rachel Maddow. She was talking about an article published by ProPublica on President Trump's lawyer, Mark Kasowitz, and why he doesn't have security clearance.
Publica with this very damning sourcing.
The viewer searched out Kasowitz on his company website and emailed him at 9:28 p.m. Eastern Time, according to emails published by ProPublica. The viewer wrote, "Mark, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I believe it is in your interest and the long-term interests of your firm for you to resign from your position." 5 minutes later, Kasowitz replied with 2 words, "F you." 15 minutes later, Kasowitz emailed again, "And you don't know me, but I will know you. How dare you send me an email like that? I'm on you now. You are expletive with me now." He continues to berate the writer, ending the email, "Watch your back," then an expletive. The unnamed viewer replied, writing "thank you," to which Kasowitz wrote 2 more emails. "Call me. Don't be afraid, you piece of expletive." The last email, "I already know where you live. I'm on you. You might as well call me. You will see me. I promise, bro."
Well, there's shockingly inappropriate emails for a person of Mr. Kasowitz's stature in the legal profession and as counsel to the President of the United States.
CNN legal analyst and prosecutor Paul Callan is also a New York attorney, aware of Kasowitz's aggressive take-no-prisoners reputation, which is infamous in New York's legal circles. Shortly after fired FBI Director James Comey testified before the Senate Intelligence Committee, Kasowitz swung hard on behalf of the president.
The president never, in form or substance, directed or suggested that Mr. Comey stop investigating anyone.
Back then, just like in this email tirade, Callan sees echoes of Team Trump.
Lawyers often become like their clients when they represent clients over a lifetime. And of course, Donald Trump brags about the fact that he's aggressive, he takes no prisoners. As Melania once said, I think, if you hit him once, he'll hit you back 10 times harder. And it seems that Mr. Kasowitz engages in similar tactics.
Whether Kasowitz will face any disciplinary action because of these emails, Callan doesn't think so, saying they were not a direct part of a legal case. Kasowitz, perhaps realizing the implications, released a statement saying, "I should not have responded in that inappropriate manner. This is one of those times where one wishes he could reverse the clock, but of course, I can't." He promised to send an apology to the target of his email rage. Kyung Law, CNN, Los Angeles.
Classy. Thank you, Kyung. I want to bring in now CNN contributor John Dean, former White House counsel for President Nixon and author of Conservatives Without Conscience. Good evening, Mr. Dean. Good to have you on. So we know that Mark Kasowitz has since expressed remorse about all of this, but still, I must ask you, is this appropriate behavior for the lawyer representing the President of the United States?
Well, trial lawyers are pretty good at controlling their emotions, Don. This is a very seasoned trial lawyer. He just decided to let his inner bully go out and run roughshod over this guy. It's really quite surprising. It might have been the end of a long day, as he said, but he had control of himself, and he just decided to go after him and be abusive, which is what bullies do.
Do you think Mr. Kasowitz is going to face any repercussions for his behavior?
There are, in the American Bar Association's model code does have a provision that says attorneys should not do anything to embarrass the profession. So this depends on the New York Bar and how their view of it. They may cut him some slack as a first time, but if he has this problem again, I suspect they might give him a call.
I wonder if it shows the amount of pressure that he's under to have, as you said, a seasoned trial attorney respond that way. I mean, what does it say that he has such an aggressive reaction?
Well, there've been stories also that he's having some trouble with his client, and his client and he are having some differences of opinion about how the defense is being handled and whether it's being handled appropriately, since Kasowitz is the head of the Russian defense. So there may be some underlying tension there. He's obviously working long days if he got this email at 10 o'clock at night and responded to it. So pressure could well be showing.
Yeah, I want to ask you let's talk more about this email controversy surrounding Donald Trump Jr.'s emails. What role do you think that this new development will play in the overall Russia investigation?
Well, I think it certainly shows an attitude and a mentality. The fact that the emails were exchanged with other we're certainly prepared to take negative information on Hillary Clinton from the Russian government, and we're actually looking forward to it in the person of this lawyer who came in. Also, the fact that they all forgot the meeting on their security clearance form is very striking.
Yeah. This is Yahoo News, who's reporting that President Trump's legal team was informed more than 3 weeks ago about Donald Trump Jr., the email change arranging that June 2016 meeting with the Russian lawyer. And just yesterday, Donald Trump told Reuters he learned about the meeting, quote, a couple of days ago. But he said on the plane last night that maybe it was mentioned at some point. And now we learn his legal team knew about it weeks ago. So what gives here?
Well, it's hard. We don't know what his lawyers were or were not telling him. I think when it first came up is when Jared Kushner registered and acknowledged the meeting to his amended FS-86 form, the clearance form. That would have alerted everybody at that point that he was going to put that out there. So I would be surprised, in fact, if Trump didn't know contemporaneously about the meeting. It'd be shocking if his son had this, what they thought was going to be a hot source from Russia, tell him some negative stuff about Hillary. I'm sure that buzz went around the campaign headquarters, which were kind of small and intimate.
Right on. You served as White House counsel for President Nixon during Watergate. What must be going through the minds of the attorneys representing and advising the Trump family right now?
Well, there are two sets of attorneys. One is the White House counsel now. Unlike during Watergate, it's been cleared up. The client is the office of the president and not necessarily the office holder. So that office, the entire White House office, does not represent Trump per se.